Okay. Okay, boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have an incredible guest with us tonight, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the legendary artist, but now activist himself, Silky Slim. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. How you doing, soldier?
I'm doing great, sir. Doing great. This means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. The first question that we have for you, sir, is a lot of people dealing with music and the industry that you came from, the loss of P&B Rock in LA, now Takeoff in Houston, and it seems like just young Pop Smoke in LA, just so many Young Dolph, a lot of, artists dying at the hands of gun violence. What advice would you give to those who are watching, who are feeling hopeless?
Well, first of all, I want to say and send my condolences to the family of anyone who have lost their child to gun violence. And brother, I see the start of a conversation and a movement that I feel like we can't prioritize murder. Anytime a black man loses his life is definitely a blow to the black community. And that was one of the issues that I have always had when it came down to Black Lives Matter. Because if Black lives don't matter to Black people, it shouldn't matter to anybody else. And that's why we see the conditions that we see. But when you have individuals that promote the death culture for profit, we're the only culture ever that has had to profit off of our suffering. No other culture does that. We're the only culture that has to profit off of belittling and disrespecting their women. So we're the only culture that has went through this thing, and it shows you the condition that we're in. So when they look at the condition, you have CEOs that's in high-ranked record labels that refuse to sign a conscious individual because they gain so much off of our ignorance, and it keeps money in their pockets. So where they may give an individual $250,000 to sign, and then they go look for his so-called op, as they're saying now, and they go look for his op and give him $150,000 to sign, and then they promote beef, and then we see death in the streets, and they're profiting from it. What I'm disappointed in is that we haven't taken a stand on the whole industry and say, you're not promoting the killing of anyone else. We refuse to let you promote the killing of the Black man. But because our people are so blind, then when you start going that route, that, hey, the success of one of us without the success of all of us is no damn success at all. So many people are selfish, and just because they have managed to escape a certain condition, they done lost 5, 10, 7 homeboys to the madness, and they look at, I made it out. The only thing that they're concerned about is self, and we see a selfish people, and we continue to suffer because of that type of individual, and we have to make a change somewhere down the line.
Yes, sir. Excellent, excellent. You teach it, bro. You teach it, and people are showing you love all across the country. My sister Miriam sends the greetings as well. Thank you, Miriam, and thank you everybody who continues to watch on YouTube. Please let us know what city you all are watching from. All right,
I wanted to commend you, man. I've been watching you. I've seen you with Dr. Moore and different, and man, hey, you're doing a great job. And I always pray, and sometimes I will text you, man, to always be encouraged, man, because what you're doing is needed, and what we're seeing is needed. And we have to, man, start awakening the sleeping giant. And that's what so many people are fearful of. So when you make a move like, I can't even say Kyrie, but I can say when someone is trying to bring knowledge as Ye tried to bring. Yeah, and they will crush you because they profit off of us being ignorant and dumb. They profit, so we have to be wise in what we're doing in this time and make sure that we be just as strategic in lifting our people up as they are in keeping us down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you very much, sir. Okay, well, speaking of that, right? So when the notion that we're looking at people that we look up to, or some people look up to in entertainment, regardless of what field, and you see the backlash, then they have to do an apology tour, then they're going to bring some black people out to attack them. What do you say to people who want to say something in whatever field they are in, whether they're famous or not, but they are afraid of being financially castrated or being canceled in public? What advice would you give to them?
I can't give them advice on that because if you're not strong enough to stand up, it doesn't matter what I say. If you're used to bowing down, yes, sir, then you're going to continue to bow because that's the first breaking of the man is to get you to bow. So once you see that, there's nothing that you can say possibly that could bring that person back. I once heard a person say that it's more easier to teach a young child how to be a strong man than to waste time trying to repair a damn broken man. So we have been broken in so many ways I don't waste time trying to repair the broken man. My energy and force goes towards the youth because I know this is a fighting generation. I know that this is the best generation that we have had. And if we continue to work on that generation, then we will get what we've been fighting for all these years, a generation that will not bow down. I liken it, brother, as to, I think I may have said this on your last podcast, but I have a young son, and he was about 4 or 5 years old. And Daddy, I want an apple. And I went into the kitchen and I cut one apple in half and I seen 4 seeds in the apple. Then I cut me an apple in half and I had 4 seeds in my apple. I say, damn, I wonder how many seeds are in an apple. So I cut a whole bag of apples, and the most seeds I found in an apple was 5 seeds. My point is that you could count the seeds that's in the apple, but you'll never count the apple that comes from one of those trees if you plant it properly. So my thing is to plant new hope and new inspiration across the nation, man, so that we could see what we want to see from this generation. It's more important to focus on the generation that's coming up than the one that's going out.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, sir. You're teaching, and my sister Miriam says, I praise the Salam. His name says ASA family, Alaikum Salam, sir. Okay, great. So let's focus on the new generation. With this new generation that's coming up, that's fearless and that wants to fight, how do you guide them in their fight? What advice would you give to the new generation?
Well, I think, brother, what has happened is that the trap is so deep, right? Until we have to start turning them in a different direction. This generation, they could see something positive, but because Satan has tricked so many before, and that's one thing I had to tell a brother. I was like, man, what has happened to us is that we see individuals with the trinkets of this world. So I see you in a Bentley, a Mercedes, or a Cadillac, and the first thing that I say, boy, the Lord has been blessing them. And they're right. But what Lord is it that's blessing him? Is it the Lord and Savior of the world, or is it Satan? Because once you make money and man your God, then he can definitely bless you because he runs this world. Think about when Jesus was taken up to the mountain and Satan had him. And Satan said, if you bow down to me, I will what? Bless you and give you all of the cities. How could he say that? Because he was in control of them. So Satan has the power to give Jesus the trinkets of the world, but he couldn't give him the everlasting life. So what did Jesus say? My Father has prepared a place for me. All I got to do is what? Do right. Get what? Ye behind me, Satan. Our problem today is that we can see Satan and we go down and try to conversate with him. Well, what you got for me? And that's why we see so many of our people dying in the street because we want to get out of these conditions so bad. I once heard Suge Knight say, Dr. Dre said he wanted to get out of this and he wanted to become rich so bad that he was selling soul. What did Suge say? He said, I'm sure that if you catch up with the devil, he has a receipt for his ass. So what happens is so many of us sell ourselves for material things, we get spiritually dead, and that's why the only thing that we could talk about is death, the selling of drugs, and the murder of each other. The real op, the one that has had his knee on our neck for years, saying, I got this thing on cruise control. And that's why they don't want to hear knowledge, because they understand that their continual rise and overpower over us is through our ignorance. So they rather see you ignorant, brother, than to have any kind of knowledge at all. And one thing that happens with this music game is that when they seen what was going on through music, music is a force that moves us to whatever it is we want to go through. Me coming from the streets, if I was going to do a drive-by, I wasn't going to put on Jesus Keep Me Near the Cross. You know what I'm saying? I was going to put on something that get me buck enough to do what I was about to do. Same way the enemy was listening to exactly what we were saying. You heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say that the black man was God. Soon after that, you heard James Brown say what? I'm black and I'm proud. And they, hey, we don't want them to be black and proud. So they stopped calling us the black man and started calling us what? The Negroes. And then they call us the niggas and all of these things that they knew belittled us. And now they have us so blind till we try to take a disrespectful term like nigga and make it a term of endearment towards each other. You know what I'm saying? That's my nigga. Well, you only wanted one because the white man had one first. So we have to wake our people up to how we've been tricked into gaining financial trinkets from our suffering in the hood. Original hip hop talked about the ills of the ghetto. Original hip hop was like a reporting station. It was edutainment, meaning that you could get educated while being entertained at the same time. That has gone down the drain. And now it's all about warfare and promotion of a civil war within the Black community, where many individuals are losing their lives and others are going to prison. Think about this. Motel 6, their jingle, hey, come to Motel 6, we'll leave the light on for you. That's to promote individuals to come and stay in an establishment. Prisons stay more fuller than Motel 6, but with no commercials. So we think. The very commercial that keeps the prison industry full is when you go and turn on your hip hop station and put this garbage into your head that's leading you, we caught the op slipping, bust his head. Next thing you know, Lil Fred is dead. Now, he who killed Lil Fred is what? Either going to the graveyard himself or to the penitentiary. But because we're so caught up in what we have heard before, Satan's world is so fast seeming to us, we continue to let them put garbage into our head, and it's impossible for us not to be in a very trashy situation.
Excellent. Yes, sir. You teaching, you teaching. And thank you everybody who's watching the People's Podcast and continues to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, I want to stay right there with the death. You said prison or death. When you see people who have lost hope, a generation of people who have lost hope, what hope do you give to them where some may say, I know my big brother got shot, my uncle got shot, this was there, this, and they don't care? How do you give them, like what do you say to a person who's hopeless?
Never give up. That's my man. Never give up. And at the end of the day, if you don't believe in anyone else, believe in God. And if you don't believe in God, then believe in yourself. But even if you believe in God, equally believe in yourself, because God is in you. You have to be enough to bring him up out of you so that you could be all that you could be in this world. So what has happened is that they have killed the spirit of self within us. They have taken the knowledge of self from us, so we feel so worthless. So we have to bring our values up, bring our self-esteem up, and start raising our kids to be great instead of just raising them to be a part of what's going on in the world today. I was in church today and I was listening. I visited a church of a friend of mine that's a very good pastor, and they was singing and praising. And I looked, and and you can ask, sometimes, well, why, we don't sing and praise. We give God thanks and we believe in God, but they believe in singing and praising. And I was like, well, if you're singing and praising, why are you doing? I'm giving thanks to God. I'm hallelujah. Okay, so when you're out there and you're listening to Cardi B, or you're listening to some of these devilish individuals that's rapping and you dancing and praising, who are you praising then? See, they don't look at it like that. If you saying that the dance and worship is for God, then when you're out in the club, then who are you worshiping then? And if God's word says that thou shalt not kill, but rappers are promoting killing, then whose word is that? See, that's two different masters. What God say? Thou shalt not kill. The devil come right back. If you catch you out slipping, bust his head. See, that's God and Satan. But it's so fascinating to us, brother, until we're walking around and we actually need canes in our hand before us because we're so blind.
You teaching, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You teaching people, and my sister's name says teaching people all over the country. Thank you for each like, share, and subscription to the People's Podcast. Can't wait to put this on YouTube. Okay, let's deal with the music, because I just had this conversation with my cousin, and it's the confliction within us, right? So people who have the knowledge of self, we still like it. Are we being selfish when it doesn't affect us the same way when we see how it affects our people, right? So I could listen to a trap artist, and I'm like, yo, this is the hard song. This is the anthem. I'm in the shower. I go to work, come home. It's nothing. Am I being a contradiction to? Even I know what it does to the, because it doesn't affect me that way. How, like, do I have to listen to Lupe or Nas or something deep all the time? If you have the knowledge, people who have the knowledge itself, do we have to listen to like Public Enemy all the time? Help me out. Help me understand.
Well, brother, I can't be a hypocrite, but what I can tell you is how it affects me. So I listened. I was on a ride with my cousin from New York, and we was listening to Boogie Down Production, and he was talking about how Shem was a black man. Abraham too was black, and he's trying to connect the dots between us and the children of Israel, and it sounded good. But right after that, I put that Brad Jordan on, and I was gripping the seat. And it took me back to the days when I used to have that pistol on the side of the seat. So I know it affects me. I had to turn that off, and we had to start listening to some Barry White, your ecstasy, So you have to watch what you put into your kingdom, of course. And
yes, sir. Yes,
you out and commit an act, if it changes your spirit, and I was listening to my cousin because Barry White's on there, and he was, girl, don't touch me like that. And my cousin said, oh, yeah, see, when she touched him like that, it make him feel like that. So you can't be trying to be a righteous person and put all of this into your spirit. You see what I'm saying? That's why we have to always try to bend our knees and get on the prayer rug, because we can put so much in our spirit. So now, even though you may be in the house of God, and that was one of the things that I seen today in church, I was like, some of these clothes are too tight, because instead of me trying to figure out instead of me trying to figure out anything about Jesus, I'm looking saying, man, this sister got a shape on her. So it lets me know that, just like they say, faith what? Turns himself into an angel of light. So she's in there, everybody's in, they're doing the thing that they think is right towards serving God. But then when you look into the book and it says, my people are covered people. If you're uncovered, you need to be saying, wait a minute. See, we like to read the scriptures when it's helpful to us. But when it's telling I'm gonna cover people, that's the first thing some people tell me about this Muslim. Oh, they be covered up too much. I can't cover myself. You don't want to be covered up. You don't want to leave nothing to the man's imagination. If it's not for sale, take down the damn sign. So now we live in a world where nothing's left to your imagination. And instead of a man desiring you for the knowledge in your head, he's more after you for what he can get in your bed. And I tell people, listen, I say, love is a Love. Love. And love is it's a noun that you can use. I love that shirt you got on, Brother Joshua. That's a noun. But if I say I love you, it becomes a verb that requires action. So since I love you, I got to try to marry you. I got to try to take care of you. And I got to try to make sure that you're straight. But when you go into a club looking for love, you may end up falling in lust. And you will never find love if you keep going out there love, letting your legs open very easily. Because anything that's to get is also easy to forget. So I tell individuals, we have to become wise when we say we're looking for someone to marry us or someone to be with us for the rest of our lives. If I could just walk into your life and use you for a certain purpose, that's the only thing that you will ever mean to me. So it's important for us to cultivate the next generation to understand. See, we teach them. And sometimes we teach our kids wrong. We teach our kids about getting a man, a little girl. Yo, girl, when you grow up, you got to get a man that's going to take care of you. No, you should teach her that she has to grow up to take care of her man so that he could provide for her. And it sounds similar, but it's so different, brother. So now we have individual, young little girls on Instagram exposing themselves, looking for a man that will take care of them. And the only thing that they're getting is taken advantage of. And we see a world that is on its way out, but it's so fast seeming until everybody's so comfortable. We're like pigs in a pig pen. Our head is so down in the filth and the slop until a storm is brewing that will take us out, but we refuse to look up from the slop because it's so good. Girl, did you hear what she said on Housewives last night? Oh, they was fighting. All of the foolishness, distractions that has taken our mind off of the Creator, and now we in a living hell that we have no power to change because we continue to be the same that we are. God said, if you humble yourself and what? Seek my face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll hear you and I'll hear your land, but we won't even humble ourselves because we love it. We love doing all of the wrong things, brother, and that we have to come out of, believe me. And I say we. I ain't say you. I ain't say them. We.
Yes, sir.
We. Man, hey, it's scary. If you, Brother Josh, if you open up the book, let's say the Bible. If we go to the Bible and we go to Corinthians 6 and 9, what does it say? No effeminates, no homosexuals, no fornicators, no liars will make it into the kingdom. No drunkards will make it. That's a broad net. That's a broad net. So if they're not going to make it into the kingdom, then we have to start walking down a more narrow path, trying to make sure that we make it into this kingdom. And it's not a kingdom after we die. See, we can come out of the hell that we're in right now today if we start walking down the narrow path. I tell people, sometimes I feel so good I know where I'm at. I say, boy, I'm in heaven. And sometimes I feel so bad I know I'm in hell. And some of the brothers call me that. Some of the brothers call me and say, Assalamu alaikum, brother, how you doing? I say, well, the only hell I'm in is the one I placed myself in. Because I know it's my peace that changes the atmosphere around me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Walk in the way that God has for us to walk, brother, things would change overnight. But like I said, Satan has his world so fast seeming. And when you see young brothers, man, that is out fighting to become millionaires to die, that shows you the trick of the devil. That means
Mm.
that you've been deceived. You've been deceived. If you constantly talking about, we killed his boy, we got him slipping, we put him in the ground, and they started planning on putting you in the ground, but they don't catch you. They like the incident that happened in Los Angeles. I think the rapper was Quando Rondo or one of them. When
Oh,
his
yes,
boy
sir.
got, oh, that grief, that anger, that was hell for him. It
Yes,
hurt
sir.
him, his homeboy gone. But at the same time, it's what you have reaped that you also must sow. And when you see
Mm.
that, brother, this is a serious time for us to try to get ourselves together, because this world is definitely darker than we've ever seen it ever.
Mm. Mm. Yes, sir. Okay, that's a good example. All right, let's speak of the Quando Rondo situation. Sometimes it's not us who actually get affected. I mean, who get hit from necessarily a physical bullet or in a spiritual bullet, or sometimes it's our family and or our friends. What advice do you give to people who, when you're seeing someone you love, you're like, man, bro, I'm trying to get you to get out of this game. I'm trying to get you, or girl, I'm trying to get you to get. What do you tell somebody, not the person, but the people around that person who are caring, who are trying to get them to, come on, man, get make a better way. What advice do you tell them?
I tell them exactly what the book would tell them. Come out of her, my people, before you be partakers of her sin. That's what we are. We're partakers of the sinful world that we see. And if we just step out of it, I listen to all the notions, and I listen to all of the people that, well, you can't ever get in the gang and come out alive. That's a lie. I have done it. You know what?
Mm.
I still affiliate with my brothers that I gang bang with. And I went to one of them house, and I'm just a truthful person, brother Josh. I went to his house, and I felt bad about not. I'm sorry, that was my call for prayer. Yeah, that was the call for prayer. I came on the phone. I'm sorry, but I felt real bad hanging around them, and one of the brothers had a cup, and I picked the cup up and put some ice in it, and he said, "Man, what you doing?" I said, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna take one drink with y'all, bro." He said, "Oh, nah." He said, "Man, you ain't got to fit in with us like that." He said, "Because when we see what you're doing, it gives us hope that we could get out as well." So
Mm.
sometimes people can, and that's what the Bible talk about when it say to have love and to try to please man, you will have enmity with God. And God was letting me know right then and there, nah, you don't have to fit in like that. Look how they look at you. And it made me feel bad. I
Mm.
prayed about it. It made me feel bad. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that sometimes, even though you don't see them looking at you, they're watching you and they learn from you. That's how I got out of the situation that I was in, looking at other individuals and watching what they were doing, and I desired to do better for myself. And it was hard for me. I was in hell with trinkets. I had the cars and the women and the money. I had all those things. And one thing I understood, I was still in hell, but I was in a different level of hell than the one I had grown up in. I have condominiums down, big house down now. I got bread now. But I was in a living hell and was anticipating death. In fact, I never expected to be where I am today. When I would go to a funeral and I would see the crowd that one of my gang members would draw at a funeral, I used to say, boy, my mom gonna have to have my funeral in a big arena, because I knew more people than they did. And it wasn't until God opened my eyes up that I do not desire to die at all. I wake up every morning thanking, oh Allah, thank you for another day. It's just another day. When I open my eyes, I have to thank God for another day, because I've been in the grave before. And sometimes, brother, I also feel that when I'm out and I stray away from the path, I feel like sometimes we could be better off dead to say that we believe and continue to be the dumb individuals that we are, to fall down on sin so much, brother.
Yes, sir. Excellent teacher, man. Silky Slim. Excellent. People are showing you love all across the country. Okay, my question for you, sir, is my next question for you is, you said you can make it out. how to all the people who are in the street gangs and gangs all across the country who are nervous about dropping their flag. They say, man, if I do this, man, they're gonna look at me like I'm lame, or how do you have to say I found God? Is that the only way to say you found God in order to drop your flag? Like what's the way out if you locked in, but you want to leave, but you still want to be respected? Wait.
And serve two masters. You have to realize that in ignorance, you did some things that you may take and hold dearly to you. But at the end of the day, you must also realize that once you give your life to God, then it is, what is the duty of a civilized man? See, when you out in that world, you uncivilized. But once you come into the light, you don't worry about what happened in the world of ignorance. You don't worry about what happened or what you did in the world that the rest of the world looks down upon. So, I mean, if we in the trash can, right? If we in the trash can, brother, and I become a general of garbage, and everybody else walking by the garbage, woo, Lord, that stinks. That woo, you smell that stench? I shouldn't be proud of being a general in a garbage. I should want to come out of that garbage and get cleaned up and go back and help others out of it. And until we get that type of knowledge into our head, then we're stuck in hell. We're stuck in hell. And I also tell individuals when I go into schools or when I go give lectures, I tell the individuals, I say, look, I ain't come to assassinate your character because I was once just as ignorant and crazy as you are. If you got to go to know, then go. I got a son right now. He's sitting in the federal penitentiary. And he called, Daddy, man, you was right, son. I wish you would have listened before you got there. But he had to go to know. And that's the thing about us is that we're so, as the book described us, stiff-necked. We can see something over there, but look, we don't want to look over there because what's going on over here is what has caught my attention. They didn't caught my attention with her over here with this G-string on, shaking for these dollars. They done caught my attention over here with these 24-inch rims. They done caught my attention over here with this big wad of money. They done caught my attention over here with all of these trinkets of Satan. So I could understand. I tell people, I say, no, it's not easy walking. I say, but one thing I do understand, and that's one of the things that I tell the people at the church. I say, yeah, I like to hear the word of God, but everybody ain't bringing it. You can easily talk Jesus. It's so damn hard to walk him. Get big money talking him. Very little if you walk him. So I tell people, I say, you have to make sure that you're in a house where you're getting fed to be something bigger than thyself and become an agent for God. And until we do that, then we just dumb devils roaming the earth, brother. And we have so many dumb devils, but there's a wise Satan with a plan that will keep you in that condition so that what? God will look over you and you could feel that tug at your heart. Oh, I know I'm doing. When you say you know you're doing wrong, you're in trouble. Yes, so sir, yes. I tell people to strive to do better every day and be a better person than you was yesterday.
Excellent. And people are, thank you all for your questions as well. Okay, we have a few more questions for you, sir. But while we take the questions, we have a quick 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast this month. I want to thank everyone for your anonymous donations. We truly appreciate it to help keep the podcast going. And we're coming right back to our brother, Silky Slim. Here we go. 1 second.
Brother Rashad Street Premiere. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Rock Communications. If you're working on a book and you need copy, editing, project management, content development, or media relations, please reach out to Rock Communications. Student Minister Robert L. Muhammad's conflict mediation, squashing the beast throughout the Southwest region. He does a phenomenal job. His wife, Sister Fudia Muhammad's giving birth to a god and the science of child rearing. Please make sure you go out and get a copy of her book as well. Fashion Gods, urban streetwear clothing for men and boys. 314-329-6009. He'll keep you dressed in the best of fashion. Brother Kenneth's bow tie maker extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Taj Hollywood's Chemistry 6 episode, a new television series out on YouTube. He's looking for actors and writers. Make sure you support him. Keep It Hood, helping others overcome depression. Also by Taj Hollywood. Brother Aaron's Elevated Places, stress management, real estate, credit, repair, and restoration. His Respect for Life Center. They do personal wellness, philosophy, emotional, and mental spiritual wellness. 229-344-1474. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 disinfected cleaning services out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Okay, great. Thank you all for watching, and thank you all for your sponsorships and donations. All right, right back to you, sir. So I wanted to ask you.
No excuse.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you ever get my book, I can send it to you too. So please let me know what you think. I would love to hear your opinion on it.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Yes, sir. Okay, so my question for you
is it,
sir?
Where is it?
It's on Amazon. I can say it's on Amazon.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna
yes, sir.
definitely
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, my question for you, sir, is having a change for God, right? This is something that's straight out of the movies, straight out of television. Like, this is something that everybody doesn't do from the game. When you do that, do you ever connect with other brothers and or sisters who have done the same thing in life? Have you ever met other people when they say, man, I was in a gang, boo? And do y'all ever connect? And what is that conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, I see that all the time. I run across brothers that are genuinely doing the work and trying to resurrect individuals. The thing is, brother, is that they're not being promoted the way that they're promoting the culture of death. So we know each other from our work, and it's very few of us that don't know each other, because we're going to bump heads out here. If you're doing the same work, you're going to always bump heads with brothers that are doing what you've done. And there are many individuals that have been street soldiers that are now soldiering for change. And it's a community. So we understand what we went through. We understand all of the things that we've done that were wrong. One thing that I tell people all the time, when I was a younger brother, and I was shot many times, and I used to get shot sometimes and would be back out on the corner within 3 days. And old folks used to tell me, they say, hey, well, when you get old, you're going to feel all that. I couldn't understand what they were talking about. I'm up on my crutches, moving around. I don't know what she talking about. They crazy. Brother, when I wake up now, I be in so much pain. I say, I must be getting old, because I feel every bullet now, man. And I tell young brothers, man, is that there's no glorification in the street life. You may think it is now, but if you live to get wiser, if you really strive to become something, brother, then you will realize how much time you wasted being nothing. So I tell brothers, I say, man, listen, don't go to the streets at all, that the streets are not worth it. And then I see young brothers that have never been in the streets, and they say, man, why do I feel like I missed something? I say, because you crazy if you think you missed something not being in the streets. You crazy. You got a problem. I say, I like talking to you because I thought you had some sense. But if you think you missed something by not being in the street, brother, you're crazy. So we have to teach. And we have to find a way to collectively and intelligently reach the next generation of people. Speaking of books, this is a school curriculum that I designed for myself. Now, my school curriculum is different, and it's in schools, but it's different from a regular school curriculum. We talk about poor communication. We talk about name calling, talking down. We talk about booting up or mean mugging. So in my book right here, it says booting up, one of the most offensive nonverbal expressions resulting in a number of senseless killings is the facial expression of booting up or mean mugging. Having a boot in your mouth is perceived as an insult and signals to another disrespect. When you look at a person with a boot in your mouth or a mean mug, you non-verbally communicate to that person disrespectfully, introducing negative feelings leading to tension and anger. Your facial expression plays an important role in the way that people interpret what is being said. And that's one of the things that we as Black people, we have a tendency. Sometimes I could tell you I was dealing drugs and I drove up in a country town. I got out of my car and an old Black man who was sitting there. He looked at me, he shook his head. And I was like, man, what's wrong with you? He said, son, man, you make me ashamed of being Black. I got a 500 sitting right here. I'm like, oh man, you just an Uncle Tom, you a hater. When I see the condition of some of our Black folks, when you speak to them and they won't speak to you and they looking at you crazy, they make me ashamed of being Black. Back then, I didn't know what it meant to be Black. Now that I do, and I know what all of our people went through for us to be here at such a time when they were getting beat up. And there's a picture going out right now with Cowboy owner Jerry Jones.
Yes, sir.
And look at Jerry Jones. He was a racist, and you got 3 Black brothers, and they got some white boys stopping them from going into school. No telling how many licks and bruises and spit and kicks in the behind they got for trying to go to school. And now we don't even want to go in the schoolhouse. Now we don't even want to be taught. We take pride in being dumb. Well,
yes, sir.
Man, I was talking to some young guys, and I called them up and I said, hey, man, why do you wear your pants sagging like that? He said, man, Silky Slim, I don't know about them, but I wear mine like this because it's the dumb way. And that's what we take pride in, the dumb way. Retarded. We take pride in things that we once were ashamed of.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All of us, man. Even when it comes down to our Black women, they take pride in things that Black women of the past were ashamed of. Back in the days when I was at my grandma Maggie's house, we would get knocked upside the head. If we went in the bathroom and she had her underclothes hanging over the heater, we get knocked upside the head, sometimes punched. I'm going there while I got my step-ins hanging. Now, they don't even wear underclothes and wear see-through dresses and expect for somebody to respect them. Be like, man, this is a horrible generation. And it lets us know that in some way or some fashion that the scriptures are true. Because when God destroyed Noah, he said, as it was in the time of Noah, so shall it be in the end. What they was doing, dancing, popping, shaking. They was doing the exact same thing that we're doing now. And we see it all over again at a larger scale, brother. So we have to try to correct our errors and try to make sure that we straighten up for the next generation.
Yes, sir. Listen, you teaching, bro. So again, people are showing you love all across the country. Thank you all for watching. Okay, I wanted to ask you about that. You spoke of my interview I did with Dr. Umar, and I asked him the same question I want to ask you. It's the same question I asked my dad. It's the same question I asked Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If I ever get to interview him, you know what I'm saying, or see him, I ask him, when you know the history of freedom fighters, of revolutionaries, of people who try to take a stand against this world, they end up many times where the people don't, they still gonna root for the gangsters in the end, they still gonna root for the drug dealers. So it's like you taking a stand. What keep you going when you know that the majority of the people you fighting for ain't even gonna give you the proper credit. What keeps you going?
Trying to please God. See, it's not about them, it's about pleasing God. A reporter asked me recently, she was like, well, how do you do this? And some of your people are against what you're talking about. They like living the gangster life. I say, well, it's like seeing someone drowning in the Mississippi River and you jump in and save them and pull them to shore. I say, you could pull them to shore and you could perform CPR, and as soon as they spit the water out their mouth, they punch you in the mouth. He said, hey, man, why'd you hit me? I saved your life. I knew I was drowning. You kept me in hell. So some of them want to be in the condition that they're in. And at the end of the day, what really inspires me, I was talking to someone and they was talking about, they brought the Jesus issue in, and they were like, man, Jesus is the real deal. Jesus is this is. I say, I love Jesus. I don't know what you're preaching to me about Jesus for. That's my guy. I love him. I say, but think about this. How great was Jesus? He said, oh, man, this Jesus is God. I say, okay, well, if Jesus was God, then, brother, look, I say, Jesus came and he was amongst us, and he couldn't save everybody. He couldn't turn everybody's hearts, because if he could have, nobody would have nailed him to the cross. See, if that power was there, nobody would have nailed him to the cross. So it lets us know that they are devils that has been prophesied to be exactly the way they are. You can't change their heart. So I don't worry about what the brothers think about me. I don't worry. I'm not trying to please them. I'm trying to gain some love and some grace from God. Allah, please mercy upon me. Forgive me for all my wretched deeds. That's my prayer. That's my prayer. And even, and I had an incident, brother. I seen a brother walking down the street. And with all that's going on with cops killing people and black folks killing people, I say, man, I wouldn't want nothing to happen to that brother and it be on my conscience. I gave him a ride. I asked him, where you going? He was going 14 miles from where he was at. I said, well, man, where you work at? The plant? He said, no. I said, what, you just got out of jail? He said, no, man, I got 3 kids at home that I got to feed. He said, so I walk right at about 15 to 19 miles a day to go to work. I said, well, what, you working in a plant? He said, no, man, I work at Popeyes. And I felt so bad. And I'm in the process of writing a book. So when I dropped the brother off at his house, I couldn't move. And it was like God was speaking to me like, look at his commitment. He will walk 19 to 15 miles for pennies to feed his children. You have a story that I have given you to give to the world, but you're always tired when it comes down to doing God's work. But when you were selling dope, what was you saying? I'll flight all night. When you was making records, when you was in the studio, I'll stay there all night. But when it comes down to doing the will of God, I'm so tired. And I have to live through that struggle right now today to make sure that I get my story to the people that deserve to hear it. Yes, sir. So it's about commitment. You have to be so committed to this thing till you don't worry about what nobody say, brother. They all of them. Think about it. What they say about Moses? Oh, he crazy. Moses went up. Back. He ain't coming back. They always say the man of God is crazy. They say, oh, man, listen at him. He's crazy, because they're not tuned in right. And once you realize that, you can't let that stop you from trying to seek refuge from Allah. So you have to continue your journey, brother. Never look. Now, the tricky part about it is that it looks good. When you see a brother pull up and he got 2 or 3 women in the car with him, he in the Bentley with all these gold diamonds and stuff on, it looks good. But they in hell, brother, because the same brother could go right up the street and try to go to a establishment to spend the night, and gunfire erupt and he's dead with the same diamonds, the Bentley stays here, the money stays here, the girl go to the next player. So, man, it looks beautiful. But when you see how much death is in the streets and young brothers are at war with each other over foolishness, over something I said on Instagram, over a record that I put out that diss your sister, when we take the lives of our own because of what comes out of the mouth, but you got somebody that'll come and put something upside your head and you won't do them a damn thing, you're not really gangsters, brother. And I learned that inside of the institutions. You know, we're in the institution. I get into it with the free man and these killers and robbers and rapists that I'm with. You know what they telling me? Slim, man, chill out, man. You can't win. Oh, so you trained to not win in here. So why we can't be that way on the street? Why we can't chill out on the street? We can't win. So, when you see the police officer, Darren, who killed Michael Brown. You see, he's still alive. Because we're not gonna, none of that. But ourselves, all we gotta say is, I'm dissing him, and we look to kill anybody that look like us because we diss ourselves. Sad situation to be in, Brother Joshua. It's sad.
Yes, sir. Okay, and I want to say right there on that point, because I'm glad you brought that up, and my sister says good teaching. Let's talk about name calling, right, and the temperament. Because I was telling somebody the other day that in high school, I mean, I played sports. So if you play what gang life was for you, that's how we banged about sports. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna play with us about no football. It's silly, it's bad, but we was gonna fight basketball court, football court on site. It is what it is. But now we grown. And sometimes somebody offended me the other day. I don't know if it was the intention or not, but whatever. And I said, man, the old me, it would have been another situation over your name calling. But I saw you put that in your book. How do you handle the name calling or the intent from the name calling? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you rise above that to where it's like, man, I know what you're trying to say, but we ain't gonna go to war about it. How does that happen?
Well, brother, it's a touchy subject. I don't want to answer that because if I tell you, well, brother, you have to control your anger and you have to do what God wants you to do, and then you Google Silky Slim and you see just last year he punched somebody in the mouth for calling him a name, then I'll be a hypocrite. So
yes, sir.
You have to be aware at all times, is what I'll say, right? You have to be aware. I don't win every war. I didn't fall out of heaven. I'm just coming up out of hell. You see what I'm saying?
Sir.
So sometimes, brother, I feel the same way, but it's about the name calling that gets us, and it's the actual disrespect. So in the book it says disrespect is a social disease that plagues social interactions among people. Poor communication occurs when we talk to a person with a contempt or rudeness. So that's what triggers us. And we are a people that's been talked down to all of our lives. So when we hear that from someone that's right there with us, yeah, it makes us angry because we want to be what? Respected. So anytime someone disrespect you, then you're willing to disrespect them, which can lead to a murder at the end of the day. So name calling, with ineffective communications, it says that effective communication cannot exist between two people if name calling becomes part of the dialogue. We let them know name calling and saying hurtful things increase tension and anger in a conversation. Name calling often bring about resentment. When we say nasty things toward one another, it offends that person and destroys the relationship. Talking down to individuals. And what's crazy about that is I was at a lady house, I think she's like 81 years old. Her and her husband was throwing jabs and punches all night. And I was like, wow. I had to actually walk outside and like, man, Lord, I can't take it. I hope they stop. I thought they were going to come to physical blows. And my cousin was saying, maybe they get along like that. I was like, no, that ain't no getting along. That's hell. That's because she was saying some rough things about brother, you know? Brother was, oh, let's go get you another woman somewhere, brother. Well, whatever I got to do. Well, I hope they put up with you with that one teeth in your mouth like I have to do. I'm like, Lord, mercy. So, no, it's not good. I try not to name call. I try to make sure that if I get that angry, I get away from the situation. And that's what we have to do. Try to get away from the situation. Am I always successful? No. But do I try to be? Yes. So, and I tell people, brother, there was this thing where we in an age that we don't even, a few years back, maybe I say 15 years back, when bad things happen and, things went crazy, we always say, oh boy, the devil busy. We don't even say that no more. Because we so busy being the devil till we don't have to bring it out our mouth. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, I was like, if you focus more on the little devil that's inside of you than you do on the one you think that's in the ground, we'll have heaven here overnight. It's the little devil inside of us that make us do some foolish things. It's the little devil in us that let name call and get to us and make us want to retaliate. It's the little devil inside of us that we got to learn to control, brother. So once we learn to control that inner devil, ain't no other devil could do you a damn thing. Control that one that's in you.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Wonderful. And thank you, everybody who's watching. Continues to like, share, and subscribe to People's Podcast. And thank you for your questions as well. Okay, my next question that we deal with, I want to deal with the pants down thing. From someone who's never been to prison, though I feel like I'm the history man outside of prison, like I feel like I've seen every documentary, Scared Straight, and all of this. When you tell people, hey, I know what your pants sagging means in prison, but out here it doesn't mean that. Does that matter, or is it always that's what it means, so that's what it means?
We're in a generational shift now. So once where it was prohibited for pants to sag in prison, it's accepted now because this generation is still in the prison system that's out here sagging. They're going there. When I was in prison, if your pants were sagging, it was because your butt was for sale. So you had a big one, 13 cartons of cigarettes, a little one, make it 7 books of stamps. And it was a commodity slave trade, sexual slave trade. Things have changed. And what has happened, brother, I went to go and speak in prison. And when I got to what we call the snitch gate, when I got there, the free man was outside of the gate. And he opened the gate. He said, you can go ahead on back there, read. And I said, wow. So when I got back there, they had a brother with a loudmouth radio sitting on the wall. They had a couple of brothers over here that was shooting dice. And they had a couple of brothers over here. They were rapping. So I said, damn. I said, the enemy is smart. He let them create a culture like they had on the streets, and ain't nobody trying to run away. When I went to talk to the brothers, I said, y'all got youngsters come up here. What do you tell them youngsters? They say, oh, man, you know what we tell them, Silk? You don't want to come to Angola, bro. Stay out of Angola. I say, yeah. I say, that's the talk of a slave. They say, what you mean? I say, you should be telling them, man, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm tired of being here. But because you're so at home now, you don't even worry about coming home. And what really hits you, if me and you grew up, me and Brother Joshua grew up right across the street from each other in Atlanta, and now we in penitentiary, I'm in Dome 5, I'm in Dome 6. That's just like being at home. That's my nigga, man. Tell Joshua over here and holler at me. So now they become comfortable in prison and not worrying about escaping, even legally or illegally. They at home. And that's why you see them doing long-term sentences and not fighting to get back to the streets, brother. So we have to try to wake them up with that. So the sagging culture is being accepted in prison now. A few years back, they had brother was in Colorado, Fleece Johnson. And Fleece was telling him, man, when I see him coming in with them pants, I go straight at him. Look, you can have it the hard way or the easy way. Which one you want? Because I'm going to have it. And that's how it was in those days. Now things have changed because such a younger generation is coming, and that predator generation are now in wheelchairs, getting old and going to the infirmary and being put on, what do they call it? Hospice, because they've been there for so long. When I was in prison, an old man told me, I used to get up and go watch BET Raps or watch MTV raps and stuff like that. And he said, hey, youngster. He said, let me tell you something. He said, I came here when I was 16. He said, I'm 65 now. He said, that's the same thing finna happen to your dumb ass. He said, because you go in there and watch them raps and come back in, you want to fight. He said, you ain't going nowhere. He said, in a little while, they're going to move you to Dome 4. He said, you're in 5 now. He said, in 10 years, they're going to put you in Dome 4. And then after you do them 10, they're going to put you in Dome 3. He said, then you're going to be up there in Dome 1. What you see in Dome 1? I said, that's the wheelchair gang. He said, that's where you're headed to, because you ain't doing nothing but wasting time. He say, take your ass to that law library and get something in your head. And I thank God that it was 2 books that I had. One was The Browder Files by Tony Browder, and the other one was A Message to the Black Man by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And once I started putting those things together, you know what they started saying? They say, that nigga done lost his mind down there. Because I was in the field and I was ducking work, and the man came behind me and put a gun in the back of my head, say, Reed, if I catch you not working again, I'll blow your brains out of the state or raise my pay. And when I looked up at him on that horse, it reminded me of a scene from Roots. I say, damn. I say, man, we in slavery. I went around telling everybody, man, we in slavery. You know what they say? Man, that stupid fool talking about we in slavery. Man, we working, we getting 20 cents a day, working 9 hours. If that ain't slavery, you tell me what it is. And once I realized that was slavery, it made me never want to go back. I tell God, I say, man, one thing that I can say is that God loved me enough to put a devil in my life when I was in prison. So there was a Sergeant Thomas. If he seen me standing up on the wall with my clean clothes on, he'd say, come here, Reed, I got something for you to do. Take me in the field and get me out dirty my Converse up. I say, hey, man, I'm finna go on a visit. You can go visit after I get through. If you don't do what I say, it's disobeying a direct order. You're going to do 90 days back there in the hole. I ain't want to go to the hole. So I went and did the work. And he worked the hell out of me. But he was the one that took me to the gate on my way going home. He stuck the key in the gate and he took his head off. He said, Reed, man, I'm going to miss you. He said, boy, we done had some times together, huh? I said, yeah, Sergeant Thomas, but I won't be back. He said, Reed, you'll be back. That's all you know. This your life, Reed. I'll be here when you get back. And when I went back, he was there. And I spoke and gave my lecture. And I apologized. I say, Sergeant Thomas, I told you I was never coming back, but I'm going back home. Now, you know what he said? He just said, Reed, you right. You did better. He said, Reed, so far, you proving me wrong. Just keep proving me wrong. I mean, like, nigga, I still think you coming back because they think that's where you belong. So once I wake up and do right because I refuse to go back and look at his face again, brother. And we got to get out of that condition. Bottom line.
All praise due to Allah. You're teaching and people are laughing and showing you love in the comments.
Forgive me for using such words, man, but it's nice.
Okay, now listen, I have 2 more questions for you that I really want to address because the other story on our first interview, which is legendary, the Wi-Fi got blurry. So I couldn't screen record the part I really wanted to talk about the way I wanted to talk about it. I was like, oh no, it got screen recorded. And that's the second story. So the first thing I want to know is, since you don't listen to like trap music or like violin music, whatever, what is like some of your favorite slow songs or R&B or pop music that you like to listen to?
I still tell you, I would listen to some rap. They got some good rap out there. I would listen to some. I just don't indulge in the foolish, self-destructive rap. Right? So I would listen. Yeah. And I love Barry White, of course. I like Barry White. I love Boogie Down Production. I listen to the good stuff that I can find. PE, yeah, I listen to PE. But I listen to one of our young Muslim brothers that has a very good CD out. You know, so I listen at things that will give me knowledge because I'm always on stage. I'm always doing something. And I don't want the two to cloud my mind. So I try to keep positive things in my mind as much as I can. That's not saying that I won't indulge in some foolishness sometimes, but I try to keep the positive thoughts in my head and make sure that I listen to things that will uplift me and not bring me down.
Yes, sir. Great. I know my sister's going to laugh when I say this, but just recommending Lupe Fiasco, He Say, She Say, or any of his albums, but specifically that song, He Say, She Say.
He's one that Lupe Fiasco is friends with one of my young mentors, D1. I don't know if you ever heard of D1, but D1 is another one that I listen to as well. And D1 actually, he was one that I mentored, and I was hot at one time because he was such a great teacher. He used to teach in high school, and he stopped teaching to rap. I was like, man, nah, man. He's like, no, man, I could reach more people on this platform than I could those 15 or 20 students that I have in the class every year. I was like, okay. And he has been a positive force in the rap game. So I love D1 as well.
Yes, sir. Okay, now I'm familiar with him from in New Orleans or Louisiana. I know he's from Louisiana. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yeah, most definitely.
yes, I'm familiar with D1. Okay, for sure. Okay, so now this the story that you told me has stayed with me, bro, Silky Slim, because it's as somebody who, once again, I'm working on therapy, getting audited to deal with my temper. When you talked about your gun talking to you and having a conversation with you, I just thought that was such a, I'm an actor. That was such a creative way of saying that. When you saying like to the new generation that the moment you do something, that gun gonna start talking to you. Could you let us know?
I mean, hey, bro, it's the mind, it's the mentality of the gangsters, right? So you could take a coward and give him a gun, and he could become a so-called gangster. And that's one of the things that happen with most of us. We have never had any power. So when you have a gun and you get into an argument, even if you're on a playground, you say you had a basketball court and you get into it with somebody and you pull that gun out, people start to scatter. Oh Lord, he got a gun. They running, and you, damn, they move like that for this gun. What's next? Pow! You shoot the gun. Oh Lord, he's shooting. Everybody running. So that's one episode right there. Now you really feel like you got some power. Nate Somsu said that power comes from what? The barrel of a gun. So when you think you got power, now you're walking around a powerful man. So you think. So now you and your brother gets into it and your argument starts. And you pull that gun and you look. You say, nah, I ain't gonna use this gun. You keep it on your side. And then your brother go to doing what you said. Go to name calling. Then that mind, oh man, he just played you. You heard what he called you? Now, the first thing you do, wait a minute, what you call me? Call me that again. You just psych yourself up. Now, as soon as he called you that, you take that gun out. Pow, that gun. But when you pull it out, you hesitant sometimes. And then that gun go to talking to you. You heard what he called you. You better handle your business, else everybody gonna be calling you that. Then you, pow. As soon as that bullet get out the gun and you see that body fall, that gun talk to you again. Oh, you in trouble. Not we in trouble. You in trouble. So now you see yourself trying to hide the gun and get rid of the gun because now you in trouble. The gun ain't in trouble. The gun becomes a part of the evidence. But you in trouble. So you can't let that gun speak to you about using a permanent solution for a temporary problem that you could solve if you just talk to your brother. That's the thing. We don't talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know how many people, Brother Josh, are in penitentiary saying, man, I wish I wouldn't have made that decision. I had a young man in the hood, him and another brother had pulled a gun on each other. I walked in between them. I said, hey, don't shoot me. And the boy said, man, he got a gun. I said, I got him. I said, you leave. I got him. I said, hey, come here, bring me your gun. I got his gun. I said, now you can leave. He left. And I talked to him because he was a basketball star. I say, boy, don't you ever let a 5-second decision cost you the rest of your life. I say, you hear me? I say, yeah. Gave him his gun back, went on about his business. He had took $600 and brought a little raggedy car. And he left the car running at the store and went in and got a cold drink. Somebody jumped in the car and left. He started asking people, you see my car? He said, yeah, got on the interstate. It's headed that way. He knew something that the person who got the car didn't know. He knew the radiator was leaking and that car was going to run hot on him. And in the hood, he got in the car with other guys, got in the hood, got on the interstate and went straight down the interstate and they got about 25 miles, and there go the car running hot, and the guy walking down the interstate. They jumped out, shot him, killed him, and he wrote me a letter from saying, "Man, I wish I would have listened at what you told me that day." Warning comes before disasters. So you can't let that gun speak to you in that manner. Me and my cousin was just talking the other day, and he was like, "Hey, man, I don't carry no damn gun." He said, "I carry me a knife." He said, "Because I take that knife and go to Jiggy and put it back in my pocket." He said, "But if I got that gun, once I pull the trigger, it's over." And that's how it is. Once you pull the trigger, it's over. And all over foolishness, man. Right now in Houston, I mean, the death of Offset have so many people upset because the young brother was so successful. But sometimes when you become successful, bro, you have to stay away from those that's trying to become successful. Jealousy, evilness sets in, and ill intentions fall upon them. And our mindset have always been, if I can't have it, I don't want to see you with it either. So I'll kill you. And that's exactly what's happening in this game right now. Those individuals that the have-nots will kill so that they become one that has. And the value of Black lives is so little these days. To these fools will put hits on each other for $25,000, $3,000. The Black man is worth way more than that. In fact, he's priceless. But because you know what you're doing, you're killing yourselves, and there's a price to be paid for that, beloved. Believe that.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. And on that positive note and that great response, thank you everybody who's watching. I want to thank you, Silky Slim, again, sir. It's an honor that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast. I look forward to
the honor
sir?
was mine. I say the honor was mine, man. And you know, I be people I say, "Oh man, he got Umar on there, man." I say, "Man, maybe I get on there another day." And you called me, bro. So all praise to Allah, man. And I want to encourage you, man, to keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's needed. It's definitely needed. And like I tell you, man, don't worry about who you're reaching. Just know that you're reaching somebody, and that somebody be the next somebody that changed this whole dynamic, brother. So keep being on the note, and never, ever, man, never worry about what people think. It's all about who you're trying to impress at the end of the day. That's for your listeners too. Don't worry about what the world say about you. Don't worry about what the world has to say. You think about it. If Farrakhan was worried about what the world had to say, then we'll be in the gutter because he would have stopped. And the minister always takes his post. What did he say? "I'll die on my post." So brother, we have to be willing to die on our post, man. Thank Allah for you, brother, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam, sir.